Hi, I'm Katie Griffith with Bright Solutions. We do technology consulting exclusively for senior living operators, helping them optimize the way that they use technology. And I'm so excited because today we're talking about AI. We're sitting down with senior living operators who are harnessing AI in their daily operations so that others in our industry can see how this technology is being utilized with their peers so that you can start on your AI journey. So I'm so excited today to introduce you to Grace and Mike. Mike, why don't you go first?
Sure. I'm Mike George. I am IT Director here at Lutheran Senior Services. We are a nonprofit senior living provider. We're offering senior living communities and home and community-based services in Missouri, Illinois, and Pennsylvania.
Awesome. And Grace?
I'm Grace Houchins. I am an application analyst on Mike's team. We do a lot of tier 2 support for any resident facing systems in our organization.
Awesome. Well, I know Lutheran Senior Services, I mean, you all do such an incredible job of leveraging technology across your organization that continues to grow. So it's so exciting for you. But I'd like to start out and just talk about, how have you determined where you're going to pursue AI and like what use cases you have decided to pursue within your organization?
Yeah, so I was brought in last year to head up or be on a team to discover what we could be using AI and automation in our organization. So we gathered a list from subject matter experts throughout the organization to see what are they manually doing, what they would like to be automating so that can take some of the workload off of them. So we have a full list of things that we could start working on, but we've narrowed it down to a few wins that we could get right out the gate. So one of the things that we automated was the CMS 802. So that's every time state comes in for their survey, they need a list of all of the residents. It pulls from the EHR into our Power BI environment, and it fills out an Excel template automatically for the users. So they don't have to comb through our EHR, find reports, pull them all together. It's just a quick process, click of a button, and then printing that out for the state surveyors. So that was one of our first quick wins. Something else that we are working on is an automation for our resident phone services. We have multiple different communities with different workflows, all tracking on different Excel spreadsheets. So putting it all in one place where the IT technicians can see what residents need phone services, the communities can see what that status is of, yes, we're still working toward that phone service, or they're connected, they're disconnected. So putting it all in one place and then streamlining that workflow so that we're taking out that manual process of having to track all of those in multiple different ways. And then our third one that we're working on is an HR chatbot through our SharePoint. So our goal would be to have a chatbot that can guide all of our users to find HR information that they need, whether that's from leave of absence information or PTO, or how many hours do I have saved up, or how do I find my paycheck, things like that. So fielding all of those questions from our HR representatives that take a lot of time, and then just being able to have those users search and find quickly the information that they need.
And like Grace said, the big goal of this isn't necessarily to provide information that takes away from what someone else might be doing. It's really to put it in front of somebody at their level on their time, and to really automate more. AI doesn't necessarily have to be the thing that you see in TVs and movies all the time that thinks for you. It's really, how can we automate? How can we use this information that we already have to make it easier for everybody to do their job day to day?
I love that. I totally agree. I feel like a huge benefit and potential for this technology is just all of the vast information you already have and being able to leverage that. I mean, of course, we have things like enterprise reporting for the business and so forth, but if I just need to know, like, what's the policy on my car, my company car or something like that, then you're going to be able to just ask the bot and get the information right away so that your HR staff and other staff can just spend their time doing more meaningful work and just surface up the information you need. I see a vision for, again, with just the information we have, being able to better care for residents, right? To be able to predict more effectively, like what residents need some extra attention because of all these different data points that we have on our residents across all of our different systems. So just being able to surface up that data and just query it so easily across the organization is so key. I love the fact that you all have brought together a group to say, okay, just brainstorm, like, what are all the ideas? And then you start to prioritize and vet them and say, what's achievable, what's going to be the most valuable. Mike, how do you think about that as far as, obviously, every IT department gets inundated already with like, we need this, we need that, so
Right.
how are you thinking about, first of all, I love that it's like, I don't care that we already have a lot on our plate, like we need to leverage AI. So how do you think about kind of prioritizing and continuing to receive in these ideas and go through them and really be strategic about it?
It really is a delicate balance. You said it perfectly. How do you add one more thing to that plate? Because the plate isn't necessarily getting any bigger. It's just how much more can you put on there until it falls apart or you drop it or whatever. That really, though, speaks to what we're trying to accomplish with AI and automation is what are those things that might be simple, but still take a lot of time. Going back to the chatbot, that's a prime example. Or even the 802 actually is probably a better example. That's something that is very much, it's out there all the time. All of the information is in a system that you already have access to as a clinician. But it takes a lot of time to go through, to comb through all of that information and to present it in a method that is consistent. It doesn't matter which community you might be a part of as the organization or which level of living you're in the organization. You want it to be consistent so that whether it's this building or that building, the surveyors all want the same information and they want it the same way, and it makes their job easier. So how can we pull all of that together in a meaningful way that is organized and makes sense, that isn't scribbled on a piece of paper and retranscribed 5 or 6 times and lost in translation, to what the team did, being able to build that visualization, what Grace has put together as far as how to present that to the clinicians and the surveyors and have it mean everything the same to everybody. That was the goal. And so now you've simplified that task and made extra room on the plate.
Absolutely. I love your analogy of all the things on the plate. And I do think that's why we want to really push forward with harnessing AI, because it is going to take things off of that plate, right? That's really the promise of it. Just continuing to look at these opportunities. Grace, what are you most excited about? I mean, what gets you excited about the future for AI and your organization's commitment to continuing to evolve and harness these types of technologies?
I think the innovation and the creativity really sparks my interest because there's so many opportunities and so much you can do with it. And usually we're not thinking of that in our day-to-day life. It's just I'm doing all my tasks to get through the day and then sign off at the end of the day and be done. But what can we, thinking outside of that box, and what can we do better? And there, it can be so exciting to find those different ways and get the users excited, get our staff excited, like, wow, this is really going to help me in my day. And it's those little nuggets of feedback that it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm making a difference. So.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really just going to change the way we work. And I think that's part of the challenge right now is that we're like, we know that there's a huge potential here, but none of us, I don't care if you're Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, like no one knows exactly what that potential, what it's going to end up being like. But that doesn't mean that we should hesitate. You know, it means that we should be ready to evolve with it. But today we can start testing and trying out and piloting all these different scenarios and use cases, and then just be ready for the future. And it reminds me of this image I saw once of like a 1950s, like it just looks like a giant warehouse, but it's an office with just all the desks, like rows and rows of desks with the little adding machines on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, this is a spreadsheet. Like that whole room of people, each desk is a cell of a spreadsheet. You know, and like to try to explain that back when that photo was taken to the people working there, like one day there's just going to be a thing called a spreadsheet and none of you have to do any of this. And of course people get scared about that, but it's not, spreadsheets didn't take everyone's jobs away. We are just evolving the way we work, and it's impossible for us to know exactly what that is going to look like at the end of the day, 10 years from now. But it's exciting because our jobs are just going to evolve. They're not going to go away. They're going to evolve and they're going to be better. I mean, we're just going to be better served. So.
Well, I certainly didn't start out in my career thinking, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Things evolve, obviously. And taking those baby steps with some of these things, that's the whole point, is you won't know what you're really gonna be able to do until you try something else out. And yeah, you're going to fail at it. There's plenty of things I'm sure Grace could share that, you know what, this just didn't work out. But okay, we still had a conversation about it. We still talked about it to know, could we do it or could we not? And it might not be that it's not impossible. It just might be that our organization isn't quite ready for it yet. And maybe we will be, because we're all going to evolve.
That's right. You learn so much from those failed pilots or tests, because you learn like this isn't going to work, and you also learn what could work. You get so much data and information out of those failures that really helps you get closer to a good solution. So, but thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm so impressed with how you all are pursuing AI, and I know that it's going to be really helpful to our audience. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks, Katie.